What's up everyone, welcome back to Beyond ARTV. My name is John and it's time for another episode of The Think Tank. And the sizzling topic up for discussion today are music publications that don't dare criticize anything. Now, music publications are definitely one aspect of it, but also these channels on YouTube that tend to react to everything, and it just somehow happens that every single reaction that they've ever had is positive. They love everything. They're somehow caught off guard and shocked and, oh damn, at every single thing that they've ever heard. This topic has been on my mind for a while, and it definitely frustrates me because I feel that criticism is so important, not only to YouTubers, to artists, to people who work in any industry really. Feedback, commentary, and anything like that is important. And I feel that some publications just will not go out of their way to even remotely say anything negative, even if the review overall is maybe like a 3 out of 5. You read through it, and there's not really anything in there that would say, why did you give this a 3 out of 5? Obviously, they might have had some complaints, but it seems like everybody has these like contracts with the bands or the labels, and it's like, okay, you cannot give it lower than this, and you have to not say anything negative. And it just irks me. It gets under my skin because you read through and you're looking for other perspectives. You want to see some other honest opinions on something, and it just feels like that's getting harder and harder to find. My hopes are that you come to and watch my channel because you're looking for an honest opinion, some feedback, some criticism, or some praise for a certain album, for a certain artist, whatever the case or the video may be. I hope that maybe that's at least a little bit of the takeaway that you get with me. If nothing else, you can see that I'm honest and true about the way that I feel about something. And I'm not saying that necessarily one person or a group of people or whatever are always lying about their opinions, and I'm not going to go out of my way, at least for the reactors, to say anybody's specific name. I'm more so going to talk about the publications. I've got a few, and we'll get to those closer to the end of this video, but I guess we should start off by talking about the reactions. Unless you've somehow been hiding under a rock, you're probably aware that reaction channels have taken over the internet. Whether it be someone just sitting there watching a video or a Vine compilation or whatever the hell else it is, or reacting to the latest music video, trying to be the first that gets there to get all of the views, even if they don't have anything at all to add, either positive or negative. And more often than not, it's just them listening to the latest album or the new video or the new song or whatever and saying, oh my god, oh they killed it, oh we stan, etc., oh my wig has been snatched and I'm flying to Mars. If you're entertained by that, then I guess you do you, but I feel like some people are probably at least hoping for something a little bit more substantial. I like when people like Sean C. or even Brad Taste in Music do a reaction to something and they're able to explain why they're feeling the way that they feel. There's other people that I've checked out through the years, and it's really just frustrating. I feel like in some ways the community evolves, in other ways it devolves, and it just centers around maybe one specific thing or one little line that they point out, or they see that everybody else is buzzing about this one part of the song or the music video, and they know that that's when they have to turn it up really high, turn up that smile and that shocked react face like, oh my god. And I know that I've done my own fair reactions. I've done things and stuff like that in the past. It's not necessarily my favorite format, but also when I do it, I always try to give some sort of meaningful comment. I try to let you into my mind, to let you know what I'm honestly feeling. And again, at the end of the day, everybody does hear and see things differently. At the end of the day, everybody's got their own perspective, but it really just kind of irks me. It gets to me sometimes when I sit down and think about the fact that I've watched like maybe 20 videos from this one person, 50 videos from someone, and they've never even said anything remotely negative unless it's something that's so outrageously hated by everybody on the internet, then finally they're swayed to have that opinion too. Starting in 2018, I made a conscious effort to stop watching my contemporaries as much because I didn't want to be overwhelmingly influenced by them. It's not that I have any less respect for what they do, it's just that I want to have my own voice. I don't want to glance at their score or what they said and be like, I guess they're right, maybe I should go with what they're saying, because I won't lie, I've definitely felt that pressure so many times in the past, but that way of of thinking is toxic. I have to purge that from my mind because it's okay to have your own opinion. It's okay to go against the grain, and I don't think anybody should be scared to voice their opinions. Now, speaking of people who are afraid to voice their opinions, it seems, or else they've just got something so deep in them from the label, the money, or whatever else it may be, everything that they need for the connections, it's the publications that I'm talking about. A lot of these rock magazines, everybody from Rock Sound to Kerrang, who are both in the UK, Alternative Press, who don't even do reviews anymore. They discontinued that section of the website. That's how bad it's gotten. Also, a few others that I noticed, the Expert Witness column from Robert Christgau. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Most of his reviews are among the most positive that you're going to find on Metacritic. In fact, he's scoring points way, way higher, the average score that he gives out compared to all the other publications. Also, I came up with Variety as well because it seems like they score a lot higher than most people do. I looked through a lot of the reviews and it was very, very difficult to find any negative ones. And again, at the end of the day, just like with the reaction channels, it seems like these publications only go super negative if that's the general consensus, and then they just run with that too. You might not like Rolling Stone or Pitchfork, and I get pissed off at the reviews sometimes too, but at the end of the day, I don't take it personally because I know that's how the author actually felt. Sometimes we all might get misinformed. That's happened to me many times. I've made mistakes in my reviews. I have to give them the same benefit of the doubt, even though some people over at Pitchfork in particular, I just have no idea what they're thinking sometimes, but at least they will go out on that limb and be critical. They're not so scared of what the artist might think that, oh no, we might sever our ties, or oh no, they might not come and do Under Over, our new series again, or whatever. It doesn't really matter to them, it doesn't seem. Out of the three publications that kind of skew towards the scene, which might cover post-hardcore, pop punk, this pop rock phase that everybody seems to be very into and putting on the covers of their magazines right now, I think Alternative Press, Rock Sound, and Kerrang are probably three of the biggest offenders. Those are three names that generally a lot of people in this scene will definitely know and recognize, probably because they get so much free promotion from the band members, from the artists in the scene that are tweeting out their links, because outside of that, they don't get a ton of traction or interaction, which would lead me to believe that's probably why they discontinued their reviews. Out of those three, only one continues to actually review albums and EPs, and that's Kerrang. So I guess kudos for that, but Alternative Press discontinued after December of 2017. The last review that I can find is for Asking Alexandria's self-titled record, and up to that point, they simply were not criticizing anything. If you look through their scores, you're not going to find much that goes lower than a 3 out of 5, and pretty much every single album would get either a 4 or a 4.5 or even a perfect score. And some of these records, you really have to question the authenticity of them because you read it and it doesn't feel like they're saying a 4, but it's almost like, hey, the label said you're giving this a 4, so do it and tack it on there. Rock Sound I do like quite a bit more than Alternative Press, but they really bummed me out when they stopped doing reviews in May of 2018. That wasn't too far after Alternative Press. They've kind of gone down the drain, and even their last reviews, you can kind of see everything was between 7 to 9, I think even a couple of 10s tossed in there as well. And I know that Rock Sound heavily relies on band involvement and people showing up for interviews, for Q&As, for games, for whatever other interaction that they need to do, maybe a Rock Sound sponsored tour. I know that connections are important, but I've used this metaphor before. And think about a friend. Do you want to be honest with your friend? Would you want your best friend or one of your good friends to be honest with you? Or would you rather them just lie to you and say, oh yeah, you look great, or this outfit is perfect, or you definitely are doing the right thing, you made the right decision here? No, some pushback or even some feedback can be so helpful. You don't want your friends to just sit back and lie to you. And I'm not necessarily saying that's outright what's always going on, but it's too convenient that all of these bands seem to get sucked off by all of these publications, and it's just like everything they've released is the best thing ever. Every project, oh, they've outdone themselves again. And I'm sitting here like, really? Is anybody over the age of like 15 buying that?
John, you just can't accept that everybody likes everything and that you're in the minority here and that criticism is so 20th century. You need to get with the times.
Art is art and criticism is a form of art. I've said that before and I definitely stand by that. If you feel differently, then I feel just a bit sorry for you. I mean, everything honestly boils down to into perspective. And I know that me lashing out at these publications and even these reaction channels that don't criticize people, that's seen as something else entirely in and of itself, and that could be another discussion. Why is he saying this? Why is this worth anybody's time? Well, honestly, I feel that criticism is starting to be looked at as hate, and I have to say, there is a very, very fine line. People don't understand that outright hating something and someone, targeting somebody with harassment, is not the same thing as just going out and saying, well, I hated this record, and I can't stand the way that this person sings, or I can't stand the way that this person raps. It is not a specific hate on a person or on an individual. It's not necessarily a commentary on their entire life. It's an opinion on their music. And honestly, the quicker that young people start to learn that, I know I sound like a fucking dad right now, but listen up here, kiddos, because I'm laying down the wisdom. The sooner you learn that, the easier life will get. And we don't have to fight with each other every time we disagree. And just because maybe you love this artist that I can't stand, it doesn't mean that I need to fight you about it. Publications, it's okay to criticize. And to all my fellow YouTubers or reactors out there, don't be afraid to get critical. You're going to get pushback. You're going to get some hate for it. But wouldn't you feel better about being honest, not only to yourself, but with your audience, instead of leading people on like, oh, well, I like everything that this artist, or this band has ever done. Maybe I'm just worked up because I got a new spinning stool, or maybe I'm actually on to something here. I don't want to give myself too much credit, but again, I would love to know what you guys think. Do you think you see the trend of a lot of publications just not ever being critical of something? Obviously, there's a lot of YouTubers, say The Needle Drop or even Spectrum Pulse, Rocked, The Rock Critic, a lot of my friends there that actually do criticize things, and the reactors that I mentioned previously, among I'm sure others that I just don't watch. The react format, not necessarily super entertaining to me. I normally like to hear like more developed opinions, but I can respect that some people like to see the first impressions. What does somebody genuinely think of something? And when you can be honest, I do feel that that's an art. If you're able to say something immediately that actually adds insight and you're able to take it and think about it afterwards and maybe come back and talk about it even more, I really do respect that. Anyways, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and don't forget to drop a like on this episode of The Think Tank while you're here. A like goes a long way, so thank you so much for hitting that button for me. Don't forget to subscribe, click that button, and ring the bell. For the love of music, I talk about it every single week, so you don't want to miss out and get notified when I upload new videos. Other than that, you can see another episode of The Think Tank right here, another recent video here. All of my social medias can be found in the description down below, and I'll see you soon for more on Beyond ARTV.